Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something completely mind-bending. Xuefeng's metaphysical framework on the nature of reality. We're going to be looking directly at texts from Xuefeng preaching Tao, exploring a deeply interconnected, massive vision of the universe. Now, whether you're already familiar with these concepts or hearing them for the very first time, this framework offers a highly structured and super provocative way of looking at existence, space, and time. So let's just jump right into it. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll define the Tao. Then, we'll explore the holographic order, look into the invisible divine net, unpack the principle of non-obstruction, and finally, wrap up with unlocking your Tao nature. All right, Section 1, Defining the Tao. So before we can even begin to understand how the universe operates in this specific framework, we gotta ask, what exactly is the Tao according to Xuefeng's texts? Well, the source material defines the Tao as the consciousness of the greatest creator. Think of it as the ultimate driving force behind the movement and transformation of absolutely all things in the universe. It's essentially the universe's lifeblood, its very nature, and the ultimate synthesis of all cosmic laws. It's not just some passive rule sitting in the background. It is an incredibly active, vital force. From that core definition, the text outlines 8 distinct characteristics of the Tao. We're talking eternal reliability, instantaneous sensitivity, justice, the whole shebang. Now, while all 8 of these are absolutely crucial to Xuefeng's framework, for the sake of our explainer today, we are going to zero in deeply on 2 specific, honestly mind-boggling traits: holographic order and non-obstruction. Moving right along, Section 2, the holographic order. Okay, I want you to picture this. Imagine a universe where absolutely everything, no matter how tiny, is deeply and inextricably linked together. The text uses some incredibly vivid examples to illustrate this. It asserts that the universe is basically a single living entity. In this holographic system, the fluttering of a butterfly's wings way up in Alaska, that is directly connected to a massive storm brewing at the Cape of Good Hope. A tiny movement in one hemisphere ripples out to create a massive event in another. And it totally doesn't stop at our atmosphere. Xuefeng links distant astronomical events to occurrences happening right under our feet. A seemingly random rock rolling on the moon is inextricably linked to an earthquake happening somewhere on our planet, or an explosion on a distant planet thousands of light years away. The text says it could literally be related to someone sneezing right here on Earth. But wait, it gets deeper, because this holography isn't just about physical space. It spans vast expanses of time, too. The text states that the mountain-digging activities of ancestors 3,000 years ago are directly connected to the suffering of a grandson living today. The past and the present are just woven together in this continuous active web. To really ground this massive concept, the text gets super personal. It says that random cough you have today, it's linked to an insect you accidentally swallowed 10 years ago. A mosquito bite on your toe is directly linked to a sudden burst of anger. It suggests that life only seems uncertain or random because we just can't see this massive holographic web of cause and effect. Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, the invisible divine net. So if everything is connected across time and space, what does that framework actually look like in practice? Xuefeng uses a really powerful quote here to describe it. Every single word, action, thought, and intention leaves a permanent imprint in the universe. The Tao forms an invisible divine net. The text insists that all beings, whether humans, gods, Buddhas, or ghosts, operate within this net. You cannot escape it, hide from it, or erase your actions from it. It's an inescapable record of existence, with, as the text says, big meshes, yet letting nothing slip through. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds like pure chaos, but Xuefeng strictly differentiates this holography from chaos. Chaos is disordered, whereas this holography is mathematically ordered. It's just beyond normal human comprehension. According to the text, this system contains exactly 36 8-diagram arrays, 36-dimensional spaces, 20 parallel worlds, and 64 basic factors. The permutations of these factors create astronomical possibilities, which is why, as the text notes, every single person's path is uniquely their own. Let's keep exploring. Section 4. The principle of non-obstruction. Okay, let's shift gears to that other major characteristic we mentioned earlier, the principle of non-obstruction. This introduces the wild concept of instantaneous universal communication. Think about physical things for a second. They have speed limits. Light is the absolute fastest thing we know, right? It travels at 300,000 kilometers per second, but it still takes about 8 minutes for light to reach Earth from the sun. But the text states that the Tao operates in zero time. It is entirely instantaneous. To help us wrap our heads around this, the text offers this really fascinating thought experiment. Imagine a person sitting completely isolated in a room sealed by 10-meter-thick iron plates. Even in that extreme physical lockdown, the text asserts that this person can still instantly sense external spiritual fluctuations, waves of consciousness, and the outside world can sense theirs. Thick metal might block light and sound, but it absolutely cannot block the movement of consciousness through the Tao. When you or I travel physically or even just send a text message, we rely on a medium, planes, cables, electronic waves, and those can be blocked or delayed. The Tao, however, requires no medium whatsoever. It penetrates all obstacles instantly. Xuefeng compares the universe to a vast living organism, with the Tao acting as its central nervous system. If you prick your toe, your brain knows instantly. If something happens to you, a relative living tens of thousands of light years away would, through the Tao, sense it instantly.
And finally, Section 5, Unlocking Your Tao Nature. So we have this massive, interconnected, instantaneous, perfectly ordered universe. But what does this actually mean for us? Well, according to Xuefeng's interpretation, because we exist within the Tao, every single person inherently possesses Tao nature. The text claims that because of this, everyone has the latent potential to transcend earthly limitations. You have the potential to navigate those 36-dimensional spaces, or even instantly transfer your life to a higher-level space called the 1,000-year world simply by mastering the consciousness required.
But hold on, that begs a totally logical question, right? And the text actually addresses it directly. If we all have this incredible, limitless Tao nature inside us, why can't we just instantly travel to parallel worlds or higher dimensions right now? Why are we still stuck in rush hour traffic on Earth? To explain this, the text uses a wonderfully grounding metaphor, learning to drive a car. Think about it. Almost everyone might have the physical and mental potential to drive, but to actually get behind the wheel and do it, you have to practice diligently, and crucially, you have to understand and master the traffic rules. Without knowing the rules, your potential remains entirely untapped. In this framework, understanding the holographic nature of the universe and the principle of non-obstruction, well, those are the traffic rules of the universe. Which leaves us with a really profound final thought, directly inspired by the text. Xuefeng suggests that by truly understanding these holographic principles, by realizing you are part of this inescapable, instantaneous divine net, you have a choice. Will you remain bound by earthly limits in what the text calls the kingdom of necessity? Or will you understand the rules of the Tao, unlock your true potential, and enter the kingdom of freedom? Something to definitely think about.